So this is the idiotic, stupid dog coming to you with a post about vinegar gravy. We should have been keeping up with this a little bit better. There's a lot to discuss, but sometimes it kinds of wears a little thin. Vinegar gravy stories are what you would call downcast because you have so much mental ambiguity or mental incapacitation, where the mental acuity of vinegar gravy and whatever you would call it, traced backwards from her to her ancestry, is a lot of mental, whatever you would call it, malfunction or malfunction, whatever the proper term is. But the thing about vinegar gravy is she's like one of those women that she's pushing the boundaries. You know, some of the people, they thought that vinegar gravy was a witch because she looked so incredibly hot. She was 41 years old, but she looked like a 28-year-old in the body. She never had no kids. Her face at 41 was getting a little weathered, a little leathery because she's a sun girl. But those lines weren't bad. The height, it was all taunt. It was all, there wasn't an ounce, there wasn't a half of a quarter of a gram of cellulite anywhere on that girl's face. She had those big, beautiful lips, you know, symmetrically, the eyes, but the face was showing the wear and tear. Let me say this, the tummy, the whatever, the whole, the hooch or the cooch areas of front and back were like a 28-year-old goddess. So this woman had like that Jane Fonda thing where her ass and her cooch and her tits and her waist and her shoulders and everything, that wasn't aging. There was no varicose veins. There was nothing but perfection. You know, that glass-like goddess, gorgeous perfection. That's the kind of curvature of this girl's buttocks. This is a winner. This is a superstar. But she also had a little bit of mental baggage, so to speak. But she was like one of those women that's constantly pushing the boundaries. You know, those are the pirates, the artists, the warriors, the daredevils, and the women of science that, you know, whatever you would say, make the girl. But like I said, they thought she was a witch. And it was because she was so young and beautiful, and also because somebody overheard her say at a gorgeous cafe, you wouldn't think she would even utter anything like this, but vinegar gravy was overheard to say that she wanted to gather up some of her enemies. They're like the younger girls. I don't know if they were at work or what this was, where this woman was running into these young girls. But vinegar gravy said that she wanted to bath in their blood. She thought it would be good for her skin and keep her youthful looks. That wasn't the worst part. She said she wanted to bathe in their blood, bathe in it. Like she was going to bring them over to her house and get them down in the cellar and club them or kill them or drug them or something. But these girls would be dead. They would be bled out, and she would get a tub with their blood, and she was soaked for a while so it helped her keep up her, you know, youthful appearance. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part that everyone remembered, and like a few other people didn't hear the beginning, they heard the second part, was she said, and then I would like to skin off all their tattoos and use them to cover my favorite books. And, you know, that was a thing where, you know, that was, you know, you're not going to do that if everything is whatever you would say, copacetic, everything's normal, everything. You're not even going to say something like that, but you know, the man didn't know if she would really bathe in someone's blood or she would skin off a tattoo and use it to cover her books. But she went on to say, the waiter said that, she was like, you know, when I was a little girl, I used to cover my books with the paper bag. I would make it beautiful. So all my books had beautiful covers on them. I could draw over them. It was so wonderful. They made you do it in the day. You can't tape the book, but you have a hefty paper bag that would last the whole school year. Well, I want to do that. Only I want to use the skin off those girls when I skin off their tattoos after I've bathed in their blood. And, you know, everybody's like, sheesh, you know. Everyone talked about it for quite a while. And that's when they thought she might have been a witch. But the man thought she might have been a witch because they were going, you know, just to the post office. And there was a little bunny ran out in front of the man and he clipped it in the head and he killed it. It rolled over. He didn't run over it with his tire. He felt so bad. He's like, oh, my God, I can't believe I just did that. This little bunny shouldn't have run out. I mean, I should have. And he thought he should have hit the brakes. He kind of hit the brakes, but he went and he turned. And it just made the bunny run right on the center of the car, get hit right with the muffler or something. The poor bunny rolled over. It was dead as a doornail. But Vinegar Gravy said, stop calmly. And the man was like, stop, whatever. What do you mean? And then she stomped the brake. She picked up her foot over the console and stomped down the brake and forced the car to come to a screeching halt. She jumped out and she went and got that rabbit. She said, pop your trunk. As she was running back up to the car, she said, let me in, pop your trunk, pop your trunk. She threw that dead corpse of a rabbit in the back of that trunk. She took it home and she processed it. She hung it up off a tree in the back of her house where no one could watch her. And she took a sharp knife and she skinned that thing out and she brought it in and she made rabbit fricassee. She was getting them entrails in between her fingers. She had, she was rubbing her nose with the blood of the rabbit, like she had a scratch on her nose, but she really just wanted to put some blood on the tip of her nose. I think she's wanting to bathe in the rabbit blood, but she made the best fricassee. The man said she made the best fricassee you ever had in your life. It was, oh my God, he couldn't believe it. And it was like an aphrodisiac, he said, and then they both felt rambunctious and they both hung out and had great wild sex together. But this is the whole thing. After she made him stop in the middle of the road and she ran back, and because there's a lot of other details. This rabbit's body was like limp, it was warm. But it clipped her right in the head, and that's what she said. She said, you never got it with the tire. This is a good rabbit. This is a big, plump rabbit. I'm taking this thing home. We're going to eat good tonight, baby. And then you watch. Don't drink too much because we're having a wild time after dinner tonight. That's what she told the man. The man was like, okay, whatever. He thought she was a witch from that one. It didn't matter that she was going to skin off people's tattoos and cover books. He thought she was a witch because she was going to do that thing with the rabbit. But, whatever. The man loved rabbits. The man particularly loved rabbits. So it was hard on him, but that's how hot she was. He didn't care about that much. It made it hard on him. I think sometimes he had to take an extra Viagra if he thought about eating the rabbit stew and all this and all that and the other thing. But then he thought about the night of sex that they had, and he said, I'm going to take 2 Viagra. I'm going to just whatever. It doesn't even matter.